Welcome back to Thank God You're Not My Child. Remember, it's a comedy podcast where I talk about whatever I want to. And today, just buckle up, Buttercup, because it's a getting it on. First, I want to say my shit soapbox is different than other people's. Remember, the reason it's a shit soapbox is it's mine. You may think it's shit, but it's mine, and I like it. So we're going to talk about traveling dance teams, sports teams, whatever, those traveling teams that you do outside of your school. I want to talk about that. Now you know why I said buckle up, Buttercup. Okay, I am not for them. I'm not for them. That's my stance. That's my shit soapbox. I think it takes time away from the family, not the kid, because the kid that's in the sports team, dance team, cheerleaders, whatever, that traveling team you do outside of school, that child gets all of the attention when it's in a team because life goes around the child that's in the traveling team. And that's probably where I've seen the biggest through all of my research is if you have more than one kid and you're putting all of your time and all of your effort and probably more than you should money into this traveling team, other kids could get, totally put off and lose doing things because of it. And I understand. I actually know personal really good athletes that's been on traveling teams, and I loved watching them. So, it wasn't my kid. So, you do you, boo. That's how we think, I did see some backlash that I saw being outside, of the everyday trip, the everyday, got to be at this practice, the hot, the getting ice water because they're out there for 6 hours a day. I mean, I understand this is what athletes do to work. Not when I was young, but probably 2009 or so. Since then, I've done marathons, half marathons, can't even count how many 10Ks, 5Ks, only 7 Tough Mudders. I really wanted to get to 10 to the black headband, but my old knees, not happening. But don't think I didn't go train and work at all. As an adult, that was just something I had to do. But if you think, I understand you think college. We're going to do this because they could get a full ride scholarship. And that is 100% true. They could get a full ride scholarship to college. And I've known some that have. So congratulations. Woo-hoo-hoo! Because, when you work and spend that much money, because I went on and did some research and talked to some parents. And I have added up that I do believe that you could spend anywhere from $200 to over $1,500 for one weekend tournament. If you had hotels to do and you had food to buy, and not to mention those tournaments are not cheap to get into. And, I know you have kids, you're making your money, doing with what you want with your money. But if you're doing this to think they're going to get into like Major League Baseball or, on a special sports team or something like that, the odds are not in their favor, And I remember in high school, I went to Longview, Texas. Go Lobos. Yeah, that might be why I like green so much. Red's my favorite color. But man, going back to that high school, that green was awfully brightful. I loved it. Anyway, there was a big football team, basketball team, cheerleaders. It was a big high school. And I seen people go. I've seen a few kids go from high school straight into the NFL. They were that good. They put the time in there. And I've seen some go into MBA and some to colleges because it was a big high school. So over the years, I've seen since I was in high school. And, I graduated in 89? Yeah, 1989. I graduated a year after Matthew McConaughey. And the only reason I remember this is, if you'll remember, I was pregnant in high school. Yep, ADHD, I'm offline. Anyway, I was pregnant in high school, and I was in drama. I was actually in drama tech. Not the same. I didn't really want to be, I don't need to be seen. I liked the back stuff. Climbing up to the lights, the set building, the setting up the sets for the plays. And he was in drama. And the only reason I remember him and his and his friends, and I tell this story to people I know. I don't think I've ever told it, to anybody or said it out loud. But I remember I was pregnant. I was a white girl pregnant in his senior year. Seriously. And I remember them coming up and rubbing my belly. And it was really annoying because, when you're pregnant and your belly is really, really, really big and you just don't really want anybody to touch it anyway. Now imagine being in high school on a play set, in a drama room, painting stuff, working stuff, and having boys coming up going, "How's the baby doing today?" Well, I just made a joke last weekend. One reason I probably had this on my mind was, before he said, all right, all right, all right, he read my belly. And every time he read my belly and said, "How's that baby going?" You know what my comment was? Yeah, you guessed it. All right, all right, all right. So should I be getting paid for this? Does he remember that? I remember that. I also remember in drama, me having to climb up on that tall ladder in this theater to change a light and my legs being crisscrossed around the top. And I'm probably 7 months pregnant. And boy, that teacher was not too happy that I was all the way up there. But you know what? If everybody else has to do it, guess who else has to do it? Just because I opened my legs and got pregnant doesn't mean I shouldn't have to do something. So this girl was getting up. Anyway, sidetracked. Let's skip to back to what we were talking about. Anyway, what happened to the school? You did T-ball, okay? My granddaughter's done T-ball. I love watching T-ball. I have a lot of daycare kids that I still see pictures of T-ball. T-ball, Little League, that's just stuff that you do. But when I was younger, when you got middle school, you tried out. You tried out for volleyball. You tried out for basketball. You tried out for softball. You had to go and you had to work your ass off to get on the team. And guess what? Not everybody got on the team. Not me. I always made the team, except for 1 year. 1 year. And if you went to middle school with me, you remember Miss Richardson? I was so mad at that bitch. Whew. When I was in middle school in 7th grade, that was a bitch move. I didn't make the volleyball team. What? I was like 4'11". What the hell? I can't make a volleyball team? Oh, I went home crying. And can you believe? Nowadays, I don't even know if they cut people anymore. Because that's how it used to be. Oh, we're sorry. You're not going to make the team this year. But you know what? Come try again. Maybe you'll be better. Maybe you'll be taller. Taller. I didn't get much taller, but I love playing volleyball, but guess what? It wasn't my thing. I always made the basketball team too, but it wasn't because of my shooting. It was because I was little enough to get in there with an elbow and not get busted, if you know what I mean. And I played softball, which I don't know how. It's probably because I would stand out in the field and look at the daisies and everything and still catch the ball when I come because of ADHD. But what happened to the school? If they have softball in school, what happened to that being good enough? What happened to if they have football in the high school or the middle school? What happened to that not being good enough? What happened to the hockey not being good enough in the high school? What happened to this? What happened to the basketball? You know what? This basketball is good. You're in 9th grade and you're good. But let's go on the traveling team and spend thousands of dollars a year so you can play 2 teams. What happened to the one base team being their school? What happened to the scouts going to all of these high schools instead of checking out the news of the traveling teams? See, it's not the parents' fault. It's not the kids' fault. It's the system's fault. They want you to, your kids are going to go to school. Your kids have to get good grades. Your kids also need to be on the school team. And if you want your kids to go to college and play this or do anything after high school, they need to be on this traveling team. And if they're not doing all of this, they might not be good enough to be on our team. What the fuck? And yes, I might have said a few icky words on this one, and you know what's there. Remember, this is not one I want kids to listen to. If you understand what I'm talking about. So it's not that my shit soapboxes, I think they're bad. I would not have done it. My daughter was in band for a while. My son was in band. We traveled with the school to teams. We did things with ROTC, with drill team and stuff, because it was in the school. I never put my kids in anything outside of school because we just didn't. They got everything they needed from school. And yes, was it selfish? I guess if they wanted to go on to college, to let, if my daughter would come up and go, Mom, I really want to play volleyball. And I think I'm good at it. And I want to go for it. Baby girl, we're going for it. And I understand that. I do. But let's remember, how many kids do you have? What are you expecting out of this? And I just watched a TikTok now of a guy saying, if you're not letting your kids do these travel teams because you have vacations and camping and stuff, and you're not going to miss out on that. I see it as, what if you have 3 kids and you're married and 1 kid has those games? All the family goes to this game. And that's a whole weekend. They could have went kayaking. Okay, they had 3 days in this city. All 4 have to go around what that 1 kid wants. Is it mean for all of them? I think so. I do. That's why I would have never done it. Am I going to look at you and be pissed you did it? No, it's your family. It's you. And you're not hurting anybody. You just need to think, what are you doing it for? Are you doing it for them? Are you doing it for you? Are you doing it for all of you? What are you doing it for? Because my thoughts, let's get the schools going. I'd be happy if all the traveling teams just stopped immediately. Everyone. Hockey, dance, cheerleading, all of it. And go back to the schools. Do the fundraisers for the schools to take the cheerleaders, to the tournament instead of a traveling team. I don't know. That's just the way I'm thinking. I know. I don't get it. I don't know why I think this way. But if I started worrying about why I thought this way at 54, so close to 55, what would my life be like? So that's my fucking feeling. Yep, that's it. Okay, so that made me think about when I didn't make the volleyball team and how I went home and how I cried that night. Positively sure my siblings said some shitty shit to me because, you're not good enough. All that bullying stuff that siblings do to each other when you're down, because you know what it is. And, I remember my mom hugging me. And I remember my mom telling me, there'll be another time. And it just, there was really nothing to do because you're not going to make everything. You're not going to make every team. You're not going to get every person you think. I'm getting married. This man is everything to me. I have never felt like that about anybody, and I only dreamed of it, and you can't just expect it. Not everybody has that ever. I'm thankful that I have that. But how do you tell your kid, well, let's go talk to that teacher because you need to be on that team too? Because, those are things that happened when I think the participation stuff started. Like, oh my Lord, don't let your kid have those feelings of not making a team, because that just broke me. You know what? It did. I remember those feelings that night. I remember the embarrassment going to school the next day. But nobody looked at me. Nobody laughed at me. And you guys that I still talk to now, if you laughed at me behind my back, well, fuck you too. But you didn't do it to my face. By the second day, I totally forgot. And by the first time they were playing, I was cheering for them. Because that was something that you just happened. People went through it. Now, I'm positively sure there are people that never did not make a team. But I think it's a disappointment that kids need to have. And that's where all the problem has started. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you didn't put my baby on that team. Oh my gosh, I can't believe my baby didn't get the lead in that role. Oh, baby, you know what? You know what you need to do? We'll just destroy this. I mean, the stuff that people are doing. Come on, people. If your kid goes out there and plays good, it's okay to take them for an ice cream and say, oh my gosh, was that so fun? Because, maybe they didn't play good all the time. Remember that. And remember that disappointments needs to be done. I mean, it needs to happen for growth. And so, yes, if your 8-year-old doesn't make the team, I don't think they do it at 8. But, it's no different than losing. Kids need to know how to lose, that it's okay to lose. Can you be trained to win? Yes, absolutely. Train them to want to win. But don't let them be an asshead when they lose. It's no different than when they don't make the team. So that was a big jump from traveling teams, which I still love watching the softball. I still love watching all of it. Thank goodness I don't have kids in school now, because I don't know what I would do if my kid wanted to. I don't know. I never had to cross that, so maybe that's why I'm at this point. But if you do, remember, just think about what's it doing for you. Yes, those are memories you're going to have forever. 100%. I bet you have no different than memories that we all have from when we were young, and mine might be of camping and not making a volleyball team. And that's okay if yours is from traveling sports fun. It's okay. But think about it. And if they go all the way and get that college scholarship because of something they did in traveling sports or something, because I do know some that's gotten it, they're so good. They were good in the high school teams too. So I'm definitely sure they would have gotten seen regardless. But anyway, I think I've already told you much more than I already know. In fact, I've never done a sports traveling team, so should I even really have a stance on it? I'm not questioning myself. I have a stance. It's called My Shit Soap. So I'm definitely having some good outturn on this stories from listeners. Thank you, guys. I think here in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have just a few stories to read to you, because you guys have some fucked up lives. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should delete that out. Nah, we all know our lives are fucked up sometimes. Anyway, remember, if you have a story or you'd like me to put it on the podcast, remember, it's all getting better, I hope, Thank God you're not my child. And check out how you spell that your, Youre, not my child, at podcast@yahoo.com. Yes, I'll put it in the bylines of this. And I do have a Queen of the Crazy House sticker and Thank God You're Not My Childcast sticker. And if you email me, I will mail that out to you so you can help support this and maybe get some brats on here and get some brats sending me some stories. So thank you. Until next time, thank God you're not my child.